with the political judges sitting in the Parlement, whom Louis XV considered to be Republicans. Many in France attributed France's defeats to a one-sided commitment to her new ally, Austria. Marie-Antoinette would have to be careful, particularly in resisting her family's attempts to enlist her in their striving for territorial expansion. This life of Marie-Antoinette looks at the extent of her power and influence, and the political role she played prior to and during the French Revolution. This influence only became marked when the king's morale collapsed after the Assembly of Notables rejected his comprehensive reform program in 1787, the first in an unbroken chain of events which led to revolution. Then the king turned to her in his distress, but she came to the task largely unprepared, as he had hitherto excluded her from matters of state. She had, as she told Antoine Barnave in 1791, some experience derived from following politics silently for 17 years. But would it be enough? This biography will demonstrate how before the Revolution, Marie-Antoinette's favoritism, notably for the Polignac circle, was not just driven by a desire for constant amusement, but was also an ambitious attempt to rebalance the court and diminish the power of established families. In this, she sought to emulate her mother. Maria-Theresa had slackened the rigid, gloomy and austere Spanish etiquette that her father, the Emperor Charles VI, had introduced to the Austrian court, and had managed to achieve the difficult balance between informality and familiarity. But where the mother had succeeded, the daughter's rebalancing was seen as capricious favoritism and only served to deepen her unpopularity. During the revolutionary period, Marie-Antoinette's stance was markedly less reactionary than is generally thought. Nor at first was she wholly opposed to the growing demands of the Third Estate in 1788-9. In the aftermath of the royal family's flight to Varennes and their forced return to Paris, it will be argued that Marie-Antoinette made sincere and concerted efforts to make the constitutional monarchy work during the last years of its life, between July 1791 and January 1792. The full significance of the exchange of letters between the Queen and Barnave during this period will be brought out. An early leader of the revolution, by autumn 1790, Barnave had come to the conclusion that a strong constitutional monarchy was necessary in order to stop the revolution before it descended into barbarism and an attack on property. In the closing months of 1791, Marie-Antoinette and Barnave governed France by secret correspondence. Their letters, 44 apiece, show how policy was hammered out in detail between them. Their correspondence was published in 1913, but has never been fully exploited. At first, many considered it a forgery because it presented Barnave as a traitor, but when in 1934 handwriting expertise showed it was undoubtedly genuine, another obstacle arose. The correspondence was worthless because Marie-Antoinette was palpably insincere, stringing Barnave along until her Austrian relatives saved her. I argue that the Queen was sincere as long as there was a chance of success. But in order to bring their policy alive, one needs to know how it was implemented. This can be done via the correspondence between two insiders, which shows how the policy agreed by Marie-Antoinette and Barnave was given via the Justice Minister du Port de Tetre to a cabinet committee sitting in a specially designated room in the Tuileries. It was then rubber-stamped by the Conseil d'État for executive action. This, Marie-Antoinette's most serious essay in government, necessarily sheds light on one of the most obscure and under-investigated aspects of the revolution: the ministerial politics of the constitutional monarchy. But the Queen's intervention in politics came at a price. There wasn't supposed to be any politicking in a theoretically absolute monarchy like France, and even if, in practice, the king was obliged to spend some of his time on it, the Queen certainly wasn't. In 1788, Marie